to the breaking news overnight. The social media app TikTok going dark as a U.S. ban goes into effect.
This morning, TikTok is shut down for 170 million U.S. users as a landmark ban on the app takes effect. Late Saturday, this message appearing on screens, saying a law banning TikTok has been enacted in the U.S. Unfortunately, that means you can't use TikTok for now. TikTok also removed from Apple and Google's app stores.
The Tiki-Taki's gone, you guys. He's gone. Let's talk about it. So, as we all know and heard, in the last 24 hours, TikTok is now banned in the US, as we knew was going to happen. It was supposed to happen on the 20th of January. It's now the 19th. So it did happen earlier than expected. Some people think it happened that way because TikTok was trying to create commotion.
Now, TikTok wasn't forced to shut itself down under the law, but the company claims it didn't have enough explicit reassurance from the Biden administration that tech companies like Apple, Google, and Oracle that provide services to TikTok wouldn't face massive fines when the law took effect today. The White House called TikTok's choice to shut down a stunt.
So I'm going to just briefly give you guys my perspective on this whole situation, what I think about the TikTok ban, the irony of the TikTok ban from a creator's perspective, specifically a conservative creator's perspective. Boy, do I have stories to tell, and where we go from here. So there are a lot of people that have different perspectives, right? Some people feel like,
good, I'm glad it's gone. The app sucked.
But let me give you guys my perspective on the app. So I originally downloaded the app back in 2020 during the pandemic and didn't really know much about TikTok. I downloaded it and I used it for kind of like trivial things, you know. I would do like videos on Tyrion, just silly stuff, like nothing really serious. And then when I changed my content from hair content and lighter stuff to more political heavy content and social commentary, I actually started my social commentary career on TikTok, which translated over here to YouTube. So I do owe gratitude to TikTok, because had it not been for the platform on TikTok, I don't think I would have grown as fast here on YouTube. I was able to really translate my views from TikTok and move it over to YouTube, and that momentum helped me grow organically on both platforms. So I do have a soft spot for TikTok in that regard. But here's where it gets tricky, right? So like I said, I started changing my content. I started doing more politically charged content. I started talking about gender ideology. I started going in on TikTok, and at the time my page blew up. I went from under 100 followers to over 100K followers within a matter of 3 months. Like, that's how fast it took off for me. One video just went viral and I just started catapulting, and I started creating on TikTok for the first time, like as a TikTok creator, doing politically charged content. And my content, as you guys know, if you're a follower here on YouTube, you know that I am more conservative. I speak out about things that are taboo, that you're not supposed to say, that can get you canceled. I was doing it, I'm still doing it. And I started doing it on TikTok, and I was able to join the creator program, which is kind of like here on YouTube, where once you get to a certain amount of followers and views, you're able to get paid for your content based on your engagement and your algorithm. And my algorithm was amazing. Like, I would post a video and it would hit 50K views within 24 hours. Like, it was just like bam, bam, bam. I was just knocking videos out left and right and center. And I was making pretty good money on the app. I'm talking about like close to 3K a month I started making on the app, just as extra change for me. Like, it was like another side hustle. And I was like, oh man, this is great. Like, I get to speak my views, speak my mind, and make a side living from this. This is pretty cool. But that didn't last long. No, it did not. The moment I started, gaining momentum and gaining views and getting an audience, the woke people found my page and it became a problem. They started flagging all my videos. They started reporting all of my videos, and TikTok started giving me restrictions. Left, right, and center. Every day I will come in and I will have a new notification. This video was taken down for community guidelines, and then I would have to appeal it. And then I would win the appeal because I didn't do anything wrong. I was just stating my opinion. There was no hatefulness in my videos, and then it would get restored. But the problem with TikTok is if you get a certain amount of flags of community guideline strikes, even if you're able to turn them over, it still works against your account. So because I had so many as a conservative commentator on that particular app, my page started to get targeted. And the restrictions were just hitting me left, right, and center. I went from getting 50K to 100K views in 24 hours to barely hitting 5,000 views. Like, it doesn't make any sense. And it was because I was being shadow banned. I was being shadow banned from the algorithm from the For You page, and my voice was being silenced left, right, and center. I could not speak. And of course, that affected my extra income because my algorithm was shot, my views were shot, and my pay was shot. I was making no money on TikTok any longer. And I did nothing wrong. All I did was speak my mind and use my free speech, and it was gone. So it's really, really funny to me when I hear the CEO, Chow, say that, he's thankful that Trump is going to fight for their freedom of speech and their First Amendment constitutional right to free speech.
Hi everyone, it's Show here. As you know, we have been fighting to protect the constitutional right to free speech for the more than 170 million Americans who use our platform every day to connect, create, discover, and achieve their dreams.
That's really, really rich coming from an app that did nothing but silence people like myself for doing that very thing, using free speech. And you guys know, if you watch my channel, if you watch my videos, you guys know I'm not a hateful person. I don't go in on people. I'm not disrespectful. I'm very respectful with how I present my arguments, but I still present my arguments, and I'm still very blunt with what I have to say. But I do it in a very classy way. I'm not at all, a troll, pretty much. I give you guys legit arguments about my perspectives. And if you disagree, you disagree. It's fine. But we do it cordially and we do it like adults. So in doing so on TikTok, I still was getting restrictions. I still was getting bans. It was a fight. It was a fight to post any video because no matter what I did, I was constantly targeted on that app. And my free speech was completely altered and completely shut down on that app. So to now see an app that did nothing but attack conservative commentators like myself and many others that I do know on that app, to now hear that app talking about the freedoms of speech and the rights of speech and the importance of free speech, it's just rich to me. And it's funny how now they're running to Donald Trump, right? And kissing his ring and pretty much saying, we're so thankful to Donald Trump. We're so thankful to Trump that he's going to do this, he's going to do that. The same app, the same platform that if you talked positively about Donald Trump, you would get flagged. No joke. If you talked about policies that were in line with Donald Trump, you got flagged. No joke. And now they're leaning on him to save the app, which he probably will do. But it's still rich to me how everything has flipped and changed, right? Like, just a year ago, Donald Trump was the plague for these apps and for liberal media. And now all of a sudden you're seeing Snoop Dogg performing at a crypto event for Donald Trump. The same person who at one time called people coons for supporting Donald Trump, now he's performing at a Donald Trump celebration. That's interesting.
Ain't nobody gonna perform for Donald Trump, huh? Which one of you jigaboo ass niggas gonna be the first one to do it? I'm waiting. I'm gonna roast the one of you Uncle Tom ass niggas for doing it.
A few moments later.
You're seeing Mark Zuckerberg with Meta, which is Instagram and Facebook, talking about they're going to get rid of fact-checking when it comes to politics, and they're going to stop flagging political videos and let people just freely talk and say what they want to say, which should have been happening in the first place. But now it's a thing. Now it's like, okay, now we're going to do it because the election happened, and we now see that, people are tired of censorship. People are tired of not being able to speak their minds. People are tired of woke politics. We hear you, and now we're going to make changes, which is great, but it shouldn't have happened like this. It should have happened from jump. People should have been allowed to speak their minds and their views without being flagged, without being attacked, without having to deal with restrictions just for speaking their minds in a respectful manner. It's crazy to me. So there's just so much irony packed in with this ban and with and with TikTok now, like, crying to Donald Trump to please save us. You're going to a conservative politician now to save an app that attacked conservatives consistently on that same app. Talk about irony. There is another financial aspect of it that makes me feel bad for people on the app that were using it for legitimate business reasons. For instance, the TikTok shop was kind of like an Amazon commerce, but on TikTok, and people would sell items on TikTok. Small businesses would open their business on TikTok and they'll blow up and start making money. Creators who were just making videos like me were able to make a living going full-time just doing TikTok because of the income that they could generate. So there are a lot of people who lost a lot of money in 24 hours because TikTok is now gone, and now that small business revenue is gone because that platform is now gone. So I do feel for those people, and I think when people are saying, good, I'm glad it's gone, good, destroy it. Yeah, I get that, but you also have to understand the other side of it as well. There are people who were using the app for legitimate reasons for business, and it was an actual business that was legit, and now it's gone, you know? And so imagine being a small business owner, and all of a sudden you wake up and your business is gone. It gets burned down to the ground, and it's no longer there. You know, it's like, what am I supposed to do now? And simply switching over to a different platform like Instagram or YouTube or Rumble or whatever it may be is not the same thing, because every platform is different, every algorithm is different, and just because you're able to organically grow on one platform doesn't mean it's going to translate on the other platform. Now, it worked for me, right? I was able to grow fast on TikTok, and that translated over to YouTube, but that's not the norm. A lot of times you can blow up on one platform and then try the same thing on a different platform, and it's crickets.
The difference between a video posted on TikTok that generated about $2,000 in revenue and looking on Instagram, and that same video, I made $3 from it.
So there really is no correct formula. It's kind of like you just got to hope and pray that it just hits, and it does. And if it does, it's great. If it doesn't, you know, welcome to 99.9% of the rest of the world, because it doesn't work for most of us. So my heart does go out to those people, because if I was primarily getting my income from TikTok and it got shut down, I would be freaking out right now. Oh my Lord, what am I going to do? I quit my main job to do this. It was working out for me, and now it's gone. You know, like, that's a horrible feeling. So let's have a little bit of empathy for those people, because it's not just, you know, a one-sided story. No matter how flat the pancake is, there's always two sides, which is why at one point in time, Donald Trump wanted to ban the app, and now he's working to restore the app. So things do change. So let's have perspective here, people. But I'm sure with this change, hopefully with this change, if they bring it back, they're going to work to change the way that they address things and stop centering people like myself. Stop centering people who have a different perspective that is not liberal, left-leaning, or woke. The other thing that I'm so upset about is they got rid of CapCut. CapCut is a video editing app that many creators like myself used. I used to use it all the time. Even for YouTube, I would use it because I record on my phone now. And I would just edit on CapCut, and it was so easy and fast for me to do.
But I think a lot of people are surprised to know that this company owns other apps, not just TikTok.
Exactly, and those apps also not available, including apps like Lemonade and CapCut. Those are also owned by TikTok's parent company, ByteDance. CapCut's a video editing platform that's popular for making reels. Apple this morning says they are not available for downloads or updates under the law that's now in effect.
So now CapCut is gone, and I'm like, wait a minute. Say what now? My main video editing software app is gone, and there was no warning? Like, that upset me. But I found a workaround because I have a VPN. Surfshark, thank you. And if you have a VPN, you just switch your IP address to a different address in a different country, and it works. So I'm able to still use CapCut, thank goodness. But yeah, that's just my perspective, guys. You know, it's a very complex situation. I'm pretty sure it is going to come back. I don't think TikTok is going to be gone forever. The fact that Donald Trump and Republicans are talking about bringing it back as long as it gets sold by a U.S.-based company. The fact that Donald Trump is saying that, look, if it gets sold by a U.S.-based company, then we could work with it. I think they're going to do that. I don't foresee them going back to China or allowing China to still own the app the way that they do. There's going to be some type of compromise, I'm pretty sure, because TikTok is an effective app, you know, and it actually was effective for Donald Trump as well, because many people were sharing information in a fast, real-time place for Donald Trump during the election, which absolutely helped him. And if you look at the poll numbers, he got a lot of Gen Z voters on his side, more than people expected. And that is because of TikTok. So I think Donald Trump sees that, and he's like, wait a minute. Let's not get rid of that app so fast. And so it's a very complex issue. I do agree, though, that China should not be able to have access to our data. But at the same time, we all use iPhones. And iPhones are made in where? China. And almost every single app that we use or every platform that we're on, data gets shared. It just does. We know this. And it gets shared internationally. Unless you live under a rock, unless you're not using any type of electronics, your data is being shared. So let's not be hypocrites at the same time and say, oh no, I'm glad it's gone because data sharing, when your data is being shared right now as you're watching this video. So it's the world we live in today. We live in an electronic universe, and data is going to be shared. But there still needs to be, you know, red tape, and there needs to be borders with that as well, as much as we possibly can get. And that's the whole purpose of renegotiating with TikTok and trying to figure out how do we make sure that American data is not being shared freely with a foreign country without any restrictions. That's the point. So yeah, that's where we stand. It's been less than 24 hours since the ban on TikTok, and people are losing their ever-loving minds. Some people are just mad because they lost their community of friends and of freely just scrolling through videos mindlessly. And for other people, they've lost their revenue, they've lost their livelihood, their business was on TikTok and now it's gone. And my heart goes out to those people as well. And even the people who are just, you know, watchers of TikTok who built a community on TikTok. Imagine if YouTube just shut down, right? And there goes my channel, it's gone, and you guys can't connect with me anymore. That would be a problem, and it would affect you as well. So let's also have some empathy for people who feel a loss. It's not a loss of an addiction to an app. It's a loss to a community that you once had that now is gone out of nowhere. And if they could take TikTok away, they could take anything away, right? They could shut down anything that they want. And that is kind of scary. We don't want the government to have that kind of control. So it does create a bigger conversation to be had. I see both sides, which is my point. I guess only time will tell as far as what happens with this app and what happens with the situation. Only time will tell. Let me know in the comments down below what you think of this situation. Did you use TikTok yourself? Are you happy it's gone? What are your thoughts about Donald Trump trying to bring it back and renegotiate? What's your perspective on it? I would love to know in the comments down below. Whoa. Editing Chuck here. So as I was editing this video, I checked online and guess what's back up? TikTok. And then I saw this post. So it looks like Donald Trump and TikTok are working together to restore services for now. If you enjoy my content, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Don't forget to hit the notification bell so you know when I post a brand new video. Until next time, peace.